Yo, what's up, guys? It's Z Brown with Trackheads. I'd like to welcome you to Trackheads TV. So, in this video, we're going to be talking about why I think that this year is going to be Noah Lyles' best 200-meter year to date, right? Noah Lyles has had a long-standing relationship with the 200 ever since he made his appearance in 2016. Almost qualifying for the Olympics in 2016. Breaking the high school record, running 19 seconds pretty early in his career, being one of the few professional athletes who are male to go pro out of high school, along with his brother. I mean, just the accolades go on and on. I mean, he is the American record holder at 1931, beating Michael Johnson's world record. It used to be a world record before Usain Bolt, but running, 1931. So all, again, really impressive stats. He's transcended the 200, went to the 100, really, was a competitive force and just a crazy factor in the 100, being world champion, world champion the 100 and 200 in 2023, becoming the Olympic gold medalist in the 100-meter dash in 2024, and now it's 2025, and I think, the 200 has a lot of he wants to get his get back for that 200 in this new year. So I'm gonna give 3 reasons why I think it's gonna be one of his best years. So check this out. The first reason that I would say, the number one, numero uno, the first reason why I think it's gonna be his best 200 year is because he opened up in the 60 this year. In February, he opened up in the 60. Like we said, September is going to be a very long time. That's where they're going to be doing the World Championships in Tokyo. And he opened up in the 60 in February, right? And in this 60, he ran it in Florida first. He ran 6:62 at some low-key meet. I believe it was in Gainesville or something like that. Did pretty decent. But then he ultimately ended up running in New Balance, which is in Boston, and ran 6:52. But 6:52 isn't the impressive thing because that's not close. It's relatively close to his PR. It's pretty decent on his standards, but it's who he beat. He beat Marcel Jacobs, right? Who is, again, up there with the best starters in the world, best accelerators in the world, and beat him. Not once, but twice. Beat him, And this is something that is very important because a lot of times, when you're dealing with 200-meter runners, they don't necessarily have the best acceleration. And that's something that he's been consistently working on year after year after year after year after year, that I'm not just a good 200-meter runner with speed endurance and good top-end speed. I can accelerate with the best of them as well. And he did a great job. So in that race, he ran 6:62, which is really, really impressive. But with that being said, again, that's my number one. He ran a 6:52. He beat Marcel Jacobs, amongst others, in this very early season race. But the second thing that I would say is that he opened up his outdoor season with a 400-meter dash. He has never, maybe a 4x4, maybe a 200, but he has never opened up his season with a 400-meter dash. So that tells me one of two things. Number one, that tells me that maybe in the past, he's done 400-meter workouts. He's done things to help him with rounds for the 1 and 200. But I think that running this 400 is helping a weakness that he has realized that he has, right? I think that Noah Lyles is really, really impressive. He's one of those athletes that has really good speed endurance all the way through 300. But I think he wants to open up that endurance beyond 300 just a little bit, because I think that's the extra bit of strength that he needs. Now, mind you, if you are like me and I'm a statistician, I love looking at the numbers of things. When he ran that 1931 in 2022 in Oregon, when he did that and ran 1931, he only ran 100 of like 9.92 or 9.93. He barely ran like 9.9 for the 100, which is pretty impressive because you do the math, 9.9 times 2 is like 19.8. He went 19.31. So his speed endurance past 100, he continued to continued to maintain his speed and accelerate and hold that speed endurance all the way through 200, which is really, really impressive, right? So how are you able to do that? By being very strong. He may have not had the acceleration, and mind you, he had the acceleration to do really well for his 200, but 100-meter specific acceleration, he wasn't able to generate the kind of forces maybe he needed to run like a 9.8 or a 9.7 that year. but he had enough to run 19:31, which is really impressive. So with that being said, I think by running the 400, he wants to be able to ensure that his base is strong enough and test it maybe in the 400 meter kind of, you know, like, forget workouts. I want to test it in the 400 to see how I hold up, to ensure that he's able to have the kind of strength needed to run, you know, maybe he's looking to PR or looking to he's maybe do something really crazy this year, right? Because we're not gonna forget, like, if he's the kind of athlete that he doesn't really forget. He wants to get his get back for that 200 at the Olympic Games when he had COVID or whatever the hell he had, right? So he has to make sure that, you know, his speed endurance is in a good spot. Because again, you're dealing with Lyles Tobogo, who went 44.2, 44.3. Right, you're dealing with all these athletes who are starting to understand, like, to be a good 200 meter runner, you have to have a good 400 meter base. You have to be fast in 100, right? And Noah Lyles has been the beast at making sure that he's able to hold his top end speed through 200, but I think he needs a little bit more strength because his 100 improved so much. So that would be my second reason. He ran an open 400. He did pretty well. He PR'd, went 45 and some change, and I think that definitely, you know, conditioned his body to be able to do what he wants it to do maybe later on in the season. Plus, his body's a whole lot different. He's a lot bigger now. He's, like, you know, been weightlifting. Shoulders look more robust, look stronger, which is what he's going to need for the 100. But it also has to be a little bit more conditioned to be able to have and hold the turnover and top-end speed that he's going to need to run a faster 200 to beat the likes of Lyles Tobogo, who weighs like a $130 or a $140. You know, I think Noah Lyles at his 100 meter body, you know, his peak body is probably like around upper 160s to 172, somewhere around there. So 30, what you talking about, 20, 30 extra pounds heavier than your next opponent. You got to have that has to be conditioned. So that's what I would say. And also the last reason that I would suggest is that, you know, I think he's in the last cycle of his year, whether he wants to admit it or not. I think 2028, he wants to go out with the biggest bang. We're talking about LA, the defending Olympic champion in the 100. And it's his crown to keep. And I think he doesn't want to go down laying on a sword. He wants to go down being the best ever, you know, and we're talking about being the best ever, and not just the 100, but the 200, because let's be honest, he's not the kind of athlete where he's just going to run the 100. He's the best 100 meter runner when he's in the best 200 meter form, and of course, you know, he's in the best 60 form. So I think he's setting himself up for legacy. And sometimes when you're doing that, you have to refresh the base. You have to ensure that your strength is where it's supposed to be, because, you know, everyone can be fast, and we see that with Christian Coleman. Everyone can have a great 30, 40, 50, but you have to have a certain amount of conditioning to be able to have the race model that you need to execute at a high level and win some of these hard races. So I'm hoping that you know, he's able to pull it out, and I think he's gonna have definitely his best year, because he's been he's been regressing. His times have been going up and up and up and up over these past 3-4 years, and he has to ensure that, you know, that he continues to drop those times. So that's my 2 cents, guys. Let me know if you agree in the comment section below. If you like my video, go ahead and like it. If you like all of my videos, I have a bunch of different videos out there. Go ahead and subscribe. And I want to thank you guys for watching. This is Steve Brown with Trackheads. Peace.